Nola, and I'm representing the Highdex programme, which is one of the sponsors of the Touch Rugby World Cup. Highdex is a collaboration of a number of universities based in the Midlands, including the University of Nottingham.
And welcome back to Pitch 1 with another eliminator in the men's 45s division, Chile versus New Zealand, and I'm joined by the big man, Ben Meakin.
Good afternoon, how are we doing?
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a long day.
Hot as well. That's as you can see, it's very warm out there. These boys will be struggling in the second half of this game, if not the first, because it's that hot.
Yeah, definitely, and we're hoping for a scorcher on Pitch 1 with Chile. Talking about hot antonyms, there's Chile and New Zealand, and I think it's fair to say Chile come into this one the underdog. We'll be looking to see if they can cause any problems for what is a very well-drilled and mature New Zealand side.
Yeah, absolutely. New Zealand won their pool to get this game against Chile, who I think came fourth in their pool to have this quarter-final.
We see New Zealand now roll into some line attack, and it's just expansive hands going around the outside, but a good covering touch, and it was a nice shot from Victor Masujuan. We'll bring the ball back onto the open side. Dummy switches, nothing doing. Ball goes to ground, so Chile able to defend the first attacking set from New Zealand.
Yeah, New Zealand not really troubling the Chileans there. They had one attack and then they tried to run a cut, but it didn't really come off, so Chile will look to get new players on, as you can tell here. As you can see here, just rolling up just past their own 10-metre line, just coming up to the halfway.
This is fifth now, so no touches to play with. They're called play on, so they might have one opportunity. They do. Just slows down and lost all of their aggression in that roll ball.
Yeah, I think Chile had a good roll on there, didn't they? And they went full field, coast to coast, but couldn't get the finish on there.
And I think there's a tap penalty here as well. I think some of the Chilean players, and myself, losing track of the touch count. I assume that was fifth. New Zealand with their first opportunity to roll into transition, and typically what we see from New Zealand sides is this is where they cause people the most amount of problems with the pace and the directness, but that's a great touch in the midfield. Another one, but they're in behind the covering link. We'll be back onto the open side, sweeper play. Good pace shown, 2-on-1. Oh, it's gorgeous. Hands into the corner, and Mark Elliott, the beneficiary. And we'll watch this back on the replay. This is textbook.
Great first score for the Kiwis. The sweeper goes round. It's a 3-on-2, 2-on-1, and this is a diving flick there. And a great finish put down from the New Zealand Mark Elliott. So New Zealand 1, Chile 0. Can Chile hit back?
Yeah, it was Stephen Walt combining with David Edmonds and Mark Elliott down in the corner. And a textbook transition and sweeping attack as Chile look to reply. Oneo Robinson at the half. Middle quickie. They look to go back on the short side. Oh, it's a good idea for the link hole. The ball has just drifted forward. But Chile not lacking for ideas in line attack.
No, they're obviously setting up for a quickie or middle players. We see that, and got the ball back. He stepped back into the open side and he chopped a link. Well, he threw a link pass, but the Chilean link didn't just go through that hole. But it did go forward as well, and that's why New Zealand are coming upfield on the Chilean 7-metre line. Now our 10-metre line going to be dumping on the 7. Sweep up.
Oh, trading intercepts.
Yeah.
In 2 possessions, an intercept for each team. And Chile, the Chilean fans on that far side, loving it. loving the defensive pressure. Is New Zealand, the half is isolated, it's trouble, and he stepped out, and that'll be an easy turnover. As Chile just lose their logistics on the transfer.
They certainly did. They had a good defensive set there. The Kiwis did start to trouble them, but Chile had a good defensive set, and hopefully they'll do it again soon. But coming off there, probably tired them out as they were coming off their own try line.
Nice counties play. Could have gone long, bit of a 3-on-2 opportunity there. But Rodney Birch decided against it. Birch transfers to Hunter. Hunter, Birch, wrappers on. Long ball is also on. And he's got one. There's a second. Mark Elliott over in the corner. Already it looks ominous for Chile.
Yeah, and two really good scores for the Kiwis so far in this first 5 minutes. As we watch it back, it was just a 32 short. And the short runner will get the number here, number 6 of New Zealand. Rodney Birch just gets the ball, creates the 4-on-3. Everyone of the Chile has to shut, otherwise they go through hole 1. And that big hole for the winger was there. So good start for New Zealand. Chile will need to get one back quite quickly to keep themselves in this game.
Yeah, and it's one of those games from a Chilean perspective where you've not really got much to lose. So you'll go out there and you'll play with some freedom. You see a little cut underneath rolling into their setup. Counties play, looking to go long. It's a nice idea, the winger's on. However, that ball's just drifted forward. It was number 14, Diego Livingston, trying to dish the ball to the wing. Doesn't quite come off, and again, Chile, with a lot of endeavour, a lot of imagination, just lacking that completion.
Yeah, they've tried to do similar to what the Kiwis have done so far. They've gone with counties plays, longs, and they've gone for their long option. Potentially not the right option, but they're creating chances. The Kiwis come over halfway, they've got to run away, 2-on-1.
Oh, great covering touch.
And Benjamin Page just couldn't get over the line there, but the Chileans are now trying to get onside, and Kiwis just spread the ball. They've got a 3-on-2, step back, and a weave. Good defence by the Chileans there.
Yeah, Chile scrambling in their defence. And New Zealand looking for another line attack. Thought the defender might have been called offside there. Must have hit the line by a fraction of a margin.
There's a lot of players sprawled along the floor there at the moment. Told you that heat's already getting to them.
Yeah, it's a scorcher. Luckily, well, say luckily, but it's definitely going to call off. Might also rain tomorrow.
There's long from New Zealand. They've got a 3-on-2. Probably Jonathan Mason was just pointing at the winger saying, I chopped my hole, created the overlap, you should have just passed it, but he got to get the ball instead. And New Zealand give a penalty away for that infringement, probably not giving the ball back.
Oh, it's a big touch in the midfield as well. Fair one judged by the referees, but a big shot nonetheless, and Livingston trucking the ball, dishing it off. Chile with Secondo driving up, really good defensive pressure. Could have been off the mark, isn't given. Nice hands, 3-on-2. Not executed, but a couple occasions there where Chile have manufactured a bit of an overlap. It's just not executing those opportunities.
And that's probably the difference of these two teams at the moment in terms of the standards and noticing where those holes are and the execution. If they can pick up on those 3-on-2s and pick the right hole, then they'll probably get some scores in. It just takes time and practice really, and that's what the Kiwis have got, years more experience.
Yeah, and they do, and they're making it count as Wall feeds off at half to Edmonds. Edmonds looks for the wing. Try not give him, but there will be a penalty for offside. So repeat set of 6, and the New Zealand players almost started to walk off in expectation that the score was going to be given.
Yeah, it looked, was it just forward? Yeah, from the camera angle, it looked slightly forward, but they've got a penalty anyway. They won't be too worried about that one. They'll look to hit back with a score here with a sweeper play. Step back, 4-on-3's on, and there was 4 defenders around the 1 attacker there.
It was Scott Grant trying to go over for New Zealand, nothing doing. Edmonds, Grant at half, Wall, 3-on-2. Can they execute? Yes, they can. And it's Seamus Hunter going over for New Zealand's 3rd in 9 minutes. And it's those fine margins of executing the overlaps.
Yeah, so we had a 32 dump on the left side, and because the Chilean defender or Chilean middles both tucked under that dump, it created a bit of space. One defender shot, one didn't, and that created the link hole for the score. So 3-0 in 9 minutes, as we've said, and I'm really hoping that Chile can just execute a little bit better here and do one of those moves again, but try and pick the right option on this time.
This is Vasquez dumping for Diaz. Diaz working with Holmes. Where are you from? Holmes. Diaz.
Oh, unlucky. Ball down, wrong it. Bad execution in that roll ball.
And New Zealand once again direct. It's Kawhi driving. Kawhi again. Can't miss him. Big figure in the centres. Kawhi, fifth, scooping, good pace, 3-on-2 again, ball to the winger is on. Did it stay flat? Yes, it did. And once again, New Zealand in that transition, just tearing through the Chilean defence, and it does not bode well if you're a Chile supporter.
No, it doesn't, and you said it at the start, Joe. New Zealand are so good in that midfield, that transition from their own half to the opposition half. They push the Chileans back, fifth touch, goes short side, steps, and then the bomb to the wing for a 3-on-2 score.
And you'll know, Meeks, just how difficult it is to secure yourself good field position on that fifth. As Chile look to threaten at the line, let's go open side, just pulling out of the touch was Livingston. Livingston checks off. Looks long, good long ball option. Just drifts forward.
Probably the right pass there. He's created a slight overlap. Maybe the winger defensive winger would have got that touch anyway, but it's just gone forward, and I just think they're making some good calls again, and they're seeing the options. Need to just pick that final pass and make it correct.
Yeah, I think it's just the difference in core skills at the moment between these two sides. Chile have got all the great ideas, although as we see Edmonds go scything through, another one goes over, and it's that scooping platform again for New Zealand. And they're just creating such separation in the middles off the back of the dump. This time it's Edmonds scooping through. Picks the spare man, finds the winger down in the corner. It's looking like a mountain to climb already for Chile.
It is indeed, but just watching these Kiwis play, we've watched a few Kiwis teams playing across all of that nation playing touch. They play very similar. They play very hard through the midfield, and that's what creates the holes, as we've said a few times now. And just watch it from any sort of touch, you can just get so much from it. And if you can work on the same things that the Kiwis do, as a Chile pick up here, there's a big black wall in front of them.
Yeah, nothing doing there. The Kiwi defence condensed, and it's making hard yards. That's the trouble for Chile at the moment, as they look to just try and kill the ball on this box side. There was Cornejo Robinson trying to go around the outside of the Kiwi defence, nothing doing. And I've got a feeling we're going to see another one of these potent transitions. The ball's taken up the middle. It's Kawhi again involved as he subs himself off 2-1. Will they execute? Got a feeling I know the answer to that one. And an early first half hat-trick for Mark Elliott.
Yeah, it's a good try. It's a simple try from the Kiwis. Instead of subbing this time, the Kiwis, have, like they've done a couple of times, have gone on a direct set where they take 2 or 3 touches up the middle of the park instead of going towards their sub box. They do a couple of wraps just to move a few Chilean defenders away, come back into the middle, and then that's how they create the space on the outside when all the Chileans then collapse in the middle again.
Yeah, and it's almost one of those plays where Chile they look to me like they expected the subset, so collapsed over onto the far side, and then New Zealand make the read and whip it back open side as we see Chile now with Diaz again. Diaz looks to hit the short, does. Good pace injected, dive at the line. That ball wasn't forward. There was an argument to be said that Chile were over and the ball could have been down. But at the base of the ruck, ball goes forward, and it's just those core skills again that underpin the structures that Chile are lacking.
They're making the right calls, right? They're doing everything right. It's just few ruck infringements, and that's what's causing them a bit of trouble. But they're making the right call.
And I think that's the difference between a nation that's been playing touch for only a matter of a couple of years and a nation that's been playing touch for nearly a century, right?
Yeah, definitely. Kiwis didn't sub again this time, so they went direct. They got the overlap, but they couldn't make that one count, so no score for New Zealand this time. I think they've brought some subs on this instead. So Chile will have the ball on touch 2 coming.
Chile roll through their transition, approaching halfway. Fresh legs comes on. Half isn't isolated, but the pass is given blind. You don't want to cough up possession to New Zealand on halfway.
No, it's more of like a American football pass, that one, and went forward. Referee saw it, but it did go to ground as well.
New Zealand tried to go faster on the outside, try and use the quick hands. Nothing doing at the moment. Chile trying to hold this most recent onslaught. Nice feet. Oh, nice little show and go. New Zealand, they've gone round the outside, they've gone through the link wing hole, they've gone through the link mid hole, now they've cut the middles apart.
Yeah, so a sweeper here from the Kiwis, step back, defending middle wasn't tucking under, big hole to go through. Graciously helps his defender up.
Stephen Wall going over for the most recent Kiwi try, 7 tries to 0. There's a bit of loss of communication in the roll ball. So this will actually be second coming, and they've not really made any yards up the middle. And it's tough times at the moment for Chile. Need to find that drive that we saw earlier on in the half. Going into the last 4 minutes. Need to get the next try on the board if they want to stay into this. This is 5th. Long ball is on. It goes. It's a bit too loopy and easily crowded out from the New Zealand defence.
Yeah, simple defence from the Kiwis there. Chile went through short side, couldn't get into in goal, so it was just a man-on situation. New Zealand now rocking through the centre of the park. I think this is touch 3 at halfway. They'll just throw in a wrap, keep the ball alive. Touch 4. They'll have one more, and I'm sure they'll be looking to either send a sweeper or a scooper. Oh no, it's going to be a short. Oh, referee's seen something.
Oh, I've just noticed as well that far side Chilean winger as he was trying to chase. I think that's a hammy, unfortunately, for Garcia. Madobro.
He's still on. He's
He's a braver man than me.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we both know how bad hammies can be, right? You don't want those. You don't want to keep playing if it has gone.
Not very often you play at a World Cup though, so people will push themselves even more. What's the referee called this time?
It looks to be, forward pass off the base of the ruck, and it's these final moments, the core skills that are just letting Chile down. And yes, you are up against what is one of the favourites in this category, in any category, to be perfectly frank. But you don't want to let your basics, your fundamentals slip. And that's what's happened for Chile.
Yeah, we talked about the heat as well. We're back end of the first half now. They are going to be tired, so mistakes do creep in even more when you're tired, obviously. And that's just what we're seeing here as the Kiwi send a sweeper 10 metres out. 3-on-2, I think he could have just scored that himself, but he'll give his mate one, and that's Scott Grant in for the score from Stephen Wall's pass.
Yeah, I think Stephen Wall got fed up with scoring himself and checked it off.
No one gets fed up with scoring.
Yeah, well, I didn't score that many to know that feeling. Stephen Wall goes over once more, but this time dishes off to Scott Grant. Very quickly, 7 becomes 8 with 2 minutes left in this first half. I think it's fair to say that the competition side of this game is well and truly over. New Zealand are going to coast through victory. The only question is by how much, and if Chile can't break the duck, then get on the scoreboard. As we've said previously, they have had opportunities. It's not like they've not tried. It's not like they've not got the good ideas. It's just areas here where you're allowing New Zealand to drop early. Although, good opportunity. Lovely little out the back flick. You've got to have a bit of flair if you're coming from Latin America. Fortunately, just drifts forward. Better line attack from Chile.
Yeah, again, they attacked the line this time instead of kind of going across the 5 metre. So they went at the line. They created a bit of uncertainty in the New Zealand defence, but ball pass from that Jouet flick. New Zealand now running over They'll play the same as what they've done most times. They throw a little wrap in. Bit of confusion there from the Kiwis. On the left side, goes back to the right middle. Scoop, step back. He's going to look at the options. Goes through the half. Oh, basketball, LeBron pass. And caught.
And it's good endeavour again from Jason Kawai. Unfortunately, I mean, I almost think if he threw that ball at the bootlaces, his teammate could have just collapsed over the top of it.
Yeah, he got through, he did everything right. It's just that last pass probably made it a bit harder than he should have, but again, nice setup by the Kiwis. Good scramble defence by the Chileans though. It's nice to see that they're not going to stop in this game and keep working all the way till the end of this half and further on. They scoop through themselves. That's a repeat set. Nice little win for the Chile team there.
And unfortunately, there's only a matter of seconds that they probably won't be able to use out this full set of 6 as the hooter goes, and that will be half time. And I'm just sort of saying to myself there, I mean, yes, this is a very dominant display as Chile go through. Do they? It looks like there might be an offside penalty.
No.
Ref, just play through, mate.
I know, we want to see the score, we want to see the score. but the referee is right here. It was only a knockdown, so it was a roll ball, not a tap. So the referee sends them back.
Oh.
Let's do it again, let him through.
Just let him go. And it doesn't quite happen for Chile.
And we got a lot of boos if you can hear that in the background. Chile saying, what's going on? Give it us.
Yeah, but he is right, as you spotted, Meeks. It was a roll ball, not a tap penalty. And we'll see it on the replay. Yeah, it's just, he just taps it and goes.
He knows what he's doing as well.
You've got to try anything against the New Zealand side. And maybe if you had an English ref, you might have got away with it. But not the case as we head into half-time. And we will take a very quick break as New Zealand lead Chile 8-0.
Players and officials, this is your third to set the goal. Please come to the field ready to go. Players and officials, stand up.
Welcome back to pitch 1. The penultimate game of day 5 at Highfields. As we see New Zealand and Chile in the men's 45 division. New Zealand had the lion's share of possession and obviously the lion's share of scores, as you can see. They look to run the rapper and open the scoring as they left off, and it's a beautiful set play from the tap off, and Chile just don't have the answer for it.
No, they don't, and it's a sweeper play into a 3-on-2. Two link and wing, just shutting a bit tighter, potentially just staying out on that short side would have been beneficial, but that didn't happen, and the loopy pass to the far winger for another score. So is that New Zealand 9, New Zealand 9-0 now. 40 seconds into the second half, Chile will look to try and get down there and get one of those strike moves, maybe get across like they did just before the first half, which was actually brought back. Unfortunately, they just lose control of the ball.
Yeah, Chile struggling to find their feet early in this second half, conceding early and then turning over possession needlessly. And you'll see a lot of teams transition from that field possession. Not this New Zealand men's 45s. They want to go up the other end and get a score themselves. As it's Kai White, early release on the rooster, 2-on-1. Can they execute?
Good defence there by Chile. Really good defence there by Chile. They had an overlap at one point, the Kiwis did. Chilean near side, their near side winger shut in, stopped that attack. Good drive here. Touch is made by middle from New Zealand, but yeah, good defence. So we talk about small wins when you play against New Zealand and Australia. You want to win, not just get a score, not just on the score line. You want to get small wins, and defending and keeping New Zealand out on a specific line attack we were one of those key points that they're trying to address.
Yeah, and that's not just limited to this men's 45s team. We saw France men's open play Australia's men's open earlier.
We did.
And it was exactly the same thing. It was 4-2, 10 minutes in, and me and James were in the commentary box thinking, here we are, we're in for a game here. And then the likes of Dylan Hennessy just start to turn on the gas. And we were saying at half time, you probably don't mind that, because you force them to play the very best touch that they can play. And even James was saying that's probably the best men's open performance he's seen Australia put on.
Yeah, I mean, scoring it for France against Australia is not just small wins, they're big wins. And you could hear that at the time. The French crowd were getting up around them, and Australia had to turn it up a little bit to get around the French defence, and in the end they did it quite comfortably as the Kiwis go through a link hole. Great pass, and that is a score for Jonathan Mason from a 32 scoop link hole pass. Probably the best score we've seen today so far in this game. So that was Scott Grant, picks up long side, sees the link hole, and good chop there by Jonathan Mason.
Yeah, and it's the line for me that he cuts, the angle at which he's coming back against the grain, and you're almost coming from the blind side of the Chilean defender. They can't see where you're coming from until it's too late. No one
can see you. You're actually cutting in towards your opposite defenders behind their feet. That's where you're looking to score. It was a perfect execution. So we talked about watching the New Zealand and see what they do to try and emulate it. That's another perfect example.
Yeah, it's Chile, middle, quickie. Was that middle onside? Wasn't short.
If he dives, he scores.
Yeah, although I think in the men's 45s division we might be asking a lot for a long and strong dive, Dylan Hennessy-esque.
It's 6 o'clock here as well. It's been a long day. Bodies are weary, day 5.
A good option, 2-on-1. Oh, the link was on, definitely. The link had chopped a beautiful hole for Chile. Then it was Vasquez Schneek that was trying to go over. He's run a beautiful line off the ball. Unfortunately, didn't receive it.
No, but Chile have received the ball back here, so they're doing something right to get a repeat set. So hopefully they can create another hole like that and pick out the right option this time.
Yeah, and it's Andrew Holmes now on the ball, 32 short. Good strike dump. Diaz looks to go wide, and that won't be 6 more because it's just sort of fizzed into a defender. And Chile on first touch coughed the ball up.
I think you said it earlier about another game. That's a coach killer. You don't want to throw the ball away on first. Even though they thought they had the options, might be best just to come back, reassess, and then take touches 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, and for me as well, when you're talking about using the full set of 6, I always like to think that, yeah, you're not just trying to have as many cracks of the line as possible. You're trying to make the defensive pod defend the maximum. And then, even if you don't get the score, you can put a bit of a nudge on against a tired defence as New Zealand go around the outside and shock, horror. Mark Elliott is over in the corner again.
Just running up and down that sideline, dotting pills down, isn't he? This is a lovely little score from the Kiwis. Probably now I'm going to say this is the best score of the game now, because it's just a simple hands, but it's not. We don't see it enough in touch. People just running hard, throwing in a cut, bit of footwork, then 3-on-2 cut out pass. As we said, Mark Elliott's just running up and down this wing, dotting down pills.
I mean, where else would you like to play, really? We were saying this earlier on comms. Like, you would just like to be an Australian winger, wouldn't you, or a New Zealand winger, because you just end up sitting on the wing going, oh wow, look how beautiful all of your hard work is. I'm going to be the one on the score sheet. Thank you very much.
I am going to throw one out there for the wingers. They're doing a lot of hard work too. They're staying on all game, but they are getting on the end of a lot of good passes from the likes of Dylan Hennessy. I think Sean Francis scored 17 yesterday in one game.
Yeah, we were saying actually on comms, there's got to
be. Oh, didn't get over. He's been listening to us, Joe.
Get down at the feet.
Yeah, nearly
down
did.
at the feet. We were saying on comms yesterday, surely there's got to be a rule where you score 10 and you're just not allowed on for the rest of the game. Like 17 is outrageous.
You can't have your own mercy rule for your own player.
I think it's just to keep them humble, right?
Fine.
As you see, New Zealand now with Kawhi driving. Kawhi again. And you can't miss him. Huge imposing figure. Oh, great feet. Stepper on the outside. There's the dive. New Zealand 11 becomes 12. And it's tough work for Chile.
Yeah, just about to tick over the 27-minute mark. Great footwork here by Jason Kawhi. He looks to engage a defender. That defender's on his heels, so instead of actually initiating that touch, he just steps around on the outside with some great footwork. Really good footwork from the big man there.
Yeah, and I think their scoreline at the moment, not to take anything away from Chile, they've done really well to get to an eliminator. I mean, anyone who gets to an eliminator in a Touch World Cup, you've earned your right to be here. But I think this scoreline that we're seeing just under 30 minutes in really speaks to the level at which New Zealand invest in their rugby, invest in touch. As the long ball goes to Chile.
Here we go!
And that'll get the biggest roar of the day, especially from me and Meeks in the commentary box. And they finally go over. And it's a beauty.
And all of the Kiwis in the sub box are cheering as well. This is what we love to see.
And we'll shout him out. It was Cristobal Garcia. Hudobro getting over in the corner, and Chile do break the duck. And Vamos Chile being shouted from the supporters. I don't say they poke the beast, but let's go Chile.
Let's see if we can get 2 now. We've got to defend this set.
Oh, it's lovely. I almost thought he was shaping for the tweener then, going between the legs to the winger. But no, almost like he was, and then went, oh, you're in front of me. There you go. And I believe it's number 12, Seamus Hunter, getting over for the score. We'll see it on the replay. Yeah, oh yeah, he definitely was shaping for the tweener. Kawhi, if you end up watching this back, just give it next time, mate.
Yeah, we all want to see that, especially after Chile's score. You should have gone with that one. But Chile must have been celebrating in their own defence there because they came unstuck. But they're going to get they've got the ball back and another opportunity. Let's see if they can get 2 on the board. This is look, just one score has given them a bit of impetus. They've gone forward a fair bit more than they have recently. So I'm excited to see what they can do after this dump. They're waiting for the middle to come up. Open side quickie on the outside. They've got space. Oh, they created the overlap again. They got the dive out, which is great to see. The overlap was on.
Just give it long, yeah. Just literally just go dummy switch and give it long. It looked to come short side. There, go on, dummy switch.
Oh, you called it. It was on.
Chop it. Definitely not bias.
Well, how good's that? Chile get one on the board, and then their reaction there, they might have given one back, but they're looking to get 2 and 3 on the board now.
Yeah, and they used the entire complement of 6 as well on the line, making New Zealand defend. And this time, New Zealand showing more respect, not trying to go coast to coast, trying to get the fresh legs on. Shows that defending's much harder than attack as they get the... Here's the roll now, sweeper play coming round, and 3 on 2, it looks ominous. And they execute again, and you won't believe it when I tell you, once again, it's Mark Elliott down in the corner.
Yeah, you're right there. Because they had to defend a full set of 6, they had to bring on new players. They had to go over and sub the Kiwis. But even if that means they take one extra touch, they threw in a sweep up, created the 3 on 2 short side. Mark Elliott dots down again.
New Zealand really putting on a clinic of how to transition and transition well whilst creating the overlap at the left. But Chile driving up the box, and the score has definitely invigorated them a little bit. The dive at the line is on. Oh, looks to go roll the ball. However, I think that will be a forward pass from the base of the ruck. It will be. And I mean, we've seen New Zealand in so many categories cause everyone problems, whether it's more established nations such as Ireland, France, whether it's more emerging nations such as Chile. What can you do against the New Zealand side?
We'll have to ask an Australian about that, won't we? Because no one else knows. Actually, I will throw this one out there. I know one team that does know. England women's 40s beat them yesterday, the New Zealand women's 40s. So it's the only team that we could probably... Great score this!
What a pill that is from right to left. It's a sinker.
It is, but what a finish. We talked about Mark Elliott just dotting them down. This time there is no dotting. He has to get his whole body across the line. And it's a nice little skid over there.
It's great hands in the end as well to catch it. The ball was far out in front, above the head as well. And Mark Elliott, good value. Lost track of how many scores he's had, but he must have at least 2 hat-tricks at this point. Chile into their line attack. We'll call that ball flat. Good option. Wing is on, doesn't go, and they're creating overlaps on the wing, just not giving it.
Yeah, the one they have done so far has created a score, so it'll be interesting to see what they run here. I think it might even be 5th touch, so let's just keep the ball alive, or yeah, they do. Oh, nearly goes through, but doesn't there. Martin Santamaria doesn't get through. The Kiwis have got the ball back, and they're going to look to sub this time. I think they're just going to go... Oh no, I'm wrong. They're going to the sub box.
Yeah, they are definitely getting over there, and a couple of them are subbing, but it's definitely not a traditional sub move. I think it's just a couple tired boys that are getting off. And such is the confidence in which they're playing, they're just driving up the box and subbing after they have their roll on the drive. There's Kai White on the ball, check off. That's a really nice fire-up play there. Option out on the wing, Mark Elliott. That ball might have gone forward. Adjudged to be flat out the hands. And Mark Elliott, surely you've got to get bored of scoring at some point.
I think he's challenging Francis here, isn't he, for that 17?
Mark Elliott, once again, over in the corner, the beneficiary of the hard work done in the midfield. But that is a straightforward finish. There's some of his early on in the game, and 6.5 minutes left in this game. We'd just love to see Chile be able to threaten the line, maybe draw a penalty or two, have some possession in the New Zealand red zone. They are getting there a little bit more consistently. It's just not direct enough and expansive enough to really threaten this New Zealand line.
No, it's not. The one time they have done it, they scored, but Kiwis just feel very settled on their line, just pushing up, looking after their short side, sticking to a process, and dummy half is caught there.
Chile just running out of ideas on the line. New Zealand, one thing that they're not lacking is ideas and execution. It's been the difference maker in this game, just the ability to find the long ball, give it early. There we go again. This is the try scorer, looks to take on his opposite man, does, just sticks the hammer down and goes round the outside, and that one's less straightforward for Mark Elliott, just pure speed.
Yeah, showing us that he's got something else in the locker as well. He's got a bit of stand up, stutters, he goes on the left, he goes on the outside, he's going, and he's gone.
He just squares up the hips, doesn't he? Just that little step back in and kicks out on the outside. New Zealand, I mean, this is a marker of intent in this men's 45s division. They know it will probably be once again a New Zealand-Australia final. And they're saying, okay, Australia, this is what we can do. And Chile once again trying to roll into the line attack. Nice long ball out to the wing. Chekhov on the inside. Almost an unconventional 21 play. Oh, nice pop on the inside, and the winger had just lost his width. And then again, found an overlap, just not executing.
Oh, we've got a runaway, have we? A quick penalty.
Bit of a hard shot in the midfield. I think that's fair to say. And it was Seamus Hunter on the receiving end of it. There might even be a forced sub here, but there's not. The Chilean player just saying, I'm sorry, but what else can I do, pal?
Yeah, just two Chilean players coming together with a Chilean sandwich with a New Zealander in the middle.
A New Zealand filling. Be a Kiwi sandwich. I'm not sure how nice that would be. As we see, New Zealand flooding onto the field. Middle, quickie. Good pace. Offside player definitely dotting down. And 16 is 17. We get into the sacred 20 with 3.5 minutes left to go. 3 tries are needed. You wouldn't put it past him.
No, you wouldn't at all, and it's just tiredness now from the Chilean left middle. Couldn't get on side quick enough, and just a walk-through score there for New Zealand's number 1, Grant Robertson.
And once again, it's the change of direction from New Zealand that causes Chile all the problems. And Chile have got the score on the board, which is much more than some teams have managed against this New Zealand men's 45s. Long ball is on, all the cut, looks for the cut, but is crowded out in the end. And that'll be half court. So, I mean, if you think about the long-term objectives for this Chilean men's 45s, they'll probably look back at this live stream game and think, okay, we did create opportunities, we did create separation between the New Zealand middles and links, and there's lots of learning opportunities for Chile.
Yeah, absolutely. They're creating defensive mismatches at times. They're creating holes, they're just not picking the right one, and they'll just look back at this and go, yeah, we could have done it. They'll probably take it into the next match they've got, because it's not just the end for Chile here. They'll go into another game and play a couple of seeding games to see where they finish in this World Cup.
Yeah, and I mean, you'll know, participating in many an international tournament, how important is it, as we see New Zealand go over for another one, and how important is it to be able to look at tape, grow, learn, and adjust things on the fly?
Absolutely. Most teams should have analysis or coaches that will do that, and that's how you learn through, not just a tournament, but through years of development as well. And Chile will look to do this with their, the Opens teams as well. They'll look to develop all the way through. So it's not just for this tournament; it's for the building into other tournaments as we build to 2028 World Cup as well.
Yeah, and we've seen as well from a lot of other teams, specifically Lebanon, sort of trying to force the hand of teams to play more international touch games as emerging nations. I think it's fair to say Chile are also in that bracket. There's not as much international touch in South America, and they'll be here to not only sort of take a few names, get scores on the board, build the exposure, but also have the opportunity to play these international games that they won't otherwise.
Of course, yeah, and the biggest thing for me of this World Cup is that these emerging nations need to get around and not just come to a World Cup. They need to play more international touch, because the more international touch you play at the higher standard, the better you're going to get individually and collectively as a team. But then as a nation, you be getting better. And if your nation then starts building, you then create more players, and then that starts to build. So it's all a, it's a building block into the future, into developing the game and getting more players in each country playing.
Yeah.
As Kiwis pick up long ball, is that?
That's my pick of the bunch. By a mile, that's my pick of the bunch. What a diving grab. And once again, I sound like a stuck record. You're asking, there's a parrot on my shoulder. There isn't. It's just Mark Elliott's over once more.
It's a great camera angle as well. And that 20 seconds to go, maybe a little bit shorter. And that's probably the best finish we've seen today in this game. He's spent the whole game out on this wing, and that is definitely the best finish we've seen.
It's a brilliant finish, and we'll see if Chile can finish with a flourish. They'll have one touch probably to play with. They'll need to go quick. The siren has gone, and they won't have many more opportunities, and that'll be all she wrote in this men's 45s fixture between New Zealand and Chile. New Zealand, the victors, of course. Chile did manage to get the score on the board, and as me and Meeks was saying, this isn't the end product for Chile. The end goal is to grow the sport as a whole, and I mean, with the support you can see in the far stand, it seems like they're on their way to doing that.
Yeah, of course, and the fact that their fans are all not Chilean cheering, that will mean the world to them. So, no, well done to Chile, and New Zealand will go on to bigger and better things after this one.
Yeah, New Zealand, good value for the win. So that's all from me today. And we're going to take a very quick break, and we're on to our final game, which will be Australia-Japan in the men's 50s, coming for you in just a moment.
So what does it mean to you? The time?
Sweat. The passion.
The thrill?